The Khilafat Movement. Outline. Background. Reasons for the rise of the Khilafat Movement. The Khilafat Committee, and its objectives. First Khilafat Conference. Second Khilafat Conference. Khilafat Delegation. Failure of the Khilafat Movement. The Hijrat Movement. Background. Failure of Hijrat Movement. Gandhi, and the Non-Cooperation Movement. Background. Chauri-Chaura Incident. Background. The Lucknow Pact made Hindus and Muslims of India work together in matters of constitutional and political issues. However, the Hindu-Muslim unity came to its conclusion during the Khilafat movement. At the start of World War I, the Ottoman Empire of Turkey held the seat of Khilafat. The Turks stand beside Austria and Germany to fight against Russia, Britain, and France. The British wanted Indian Muslims to join in the fight alongside them and promised them that they would protect Khalifa and the Ottoman Empire. As a result, thousands of Muslims joined the army. But the Turkish side lost the war and Muslims became concerned about the Khalifa and the Ottoman Empire. Reasons for the rise of the Khilafat movement. After the Turkish side lost, Britain captured the Ottoman Empire including Medina and Mecca. To protect these places the movement was launched. The Khalifa Caliph of Turkey was dethroned. The British wanted to end the Ottoman Empire and force Turkey to be treated like a normal country. The British forgot their promise to treat Turkey better. The Muslims of India were grief-stricken because Turkey was the last great power left to them. They believed, if Britain destroyed Turkey then Muslims would become like Jews, people without a country of their own. Khilafat Committee and its objectives. In 1919, the Khilafat Committee was established to launch the Khilafat movement. Maulana Shaukat Ali was appointed as the General Secretary of the Khilafat movement. The National Congress also gave their support to the movement. Objectives. Following were the main objectives of the movement. To protect the holy places of Muslims. To defend the Khalifa. To protect the Ottoman Empire. First Khilafat Conference. The first Khilafat Conference was held in November 1919 at Delhi. Gandhi also attended the Khilafat Conference. A resolution was passed that demanded Muslims of India to adopt the non-cooperation policy to fulfill their religious duty. Second Khilafat Conference. The Second Khilafat Conference was held in December 1919 at Amritsar. National Congress and the Muslim League also attended the Second Conference. It was decided that all three of them must work together to oppose the plans of the British to end the Ottoman Empire. Khilafat Delegation. In 1919, under the leadership of Muhammad Ali Johar, Khilafat Delegation left for England, to discuss their concerns with Lloyd George, the Prime Minister. However, Lloyd George refused any arguments regarding the Khalifa and Ottoman Empire and the movement failed without achieving its goal. Failure of the Khilafat movement. The demands and arguments made by Khilafat Delegation were rejected. Under British policy of repression, around 30,000 supporters were arrested. The Ali brother, Maulana Shaukat Ali, and Maulana Muhammad Ali were arrested. After the incident of Chori-Chaura, Gandhi also withdrew his support from the Khilafat movement. In 1924, under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Turks announced the end of Khilafat. It came as a blow to the Indian Muslims. The Hijrat Movement. Background. The Hijrat Movement was launched by the influence of the Khilafat movement. In 1920, suggestions were made by Jamiat Ulama-i-Hind for the Hijrat movement. The ulama explained that when the land became unsafe Muslims have two options, either to stand up and do jihad or to migrate to a safe place. This fatwa was signed by around 925 renowned Muslims. In Delhi, after the fatwa, a central office was established and Nazims were appointed to motivate Muslims for migration. Failures of the Hijrat Movement. After the launch of Hijrat Movement, hundreds of Muslim families in Sindh and NWFP sold their properties and home to migrate to Afghanistan. However, Afghanistan being a poor country was unable to accept this large crowd of migrants. In August 1920 alone, around 1,800 people migrated to Afghanistan. At the start, Afghans welcomed the Indian Muslims, but they had to close their frontiers because of the shortage of food for refugees. The refugees in Afghanistan face miserable conditions and many hardships, some even came back to their homeland. The Khilafat movement also failed, and the Muslims of India have once again faced criticism from Hindus. Gandhi, and the non-cooperation movement. Background. Gandhi was a man who did not believe in violence. He launched the non-cooperation movement to protest the British. However, his movement lost its momentum and was leading towards violence. Chorichora Incident. In February 1922, the riot became intense between the protesters of the non-cooperation movement and police at Chorichora. The hostile protesters set the police station on fire that burnt 22 policemen alive. The Chorichora incident made Gandhi very upset, and he immediately called off the movement. The sudden end of the non-cooperation movement also harmed the Khilafat movement. Notesreel.com